Hello everyone, I'm excited to share Mixed Blooms, the Craft Your Life project kit for September 2024. You can see there's an outline image and a solid image you could stamp on top, as well as lots of beautiful sentiments to coordinate with your project. Next, we're going to go ahead and have a look. There is a stencil set that comes with this. There is a 5-piece layering stencil set that comes with this beautiful suite of products. There's also a die set, and that's going to cut the outline image of that big floral, as well as some little flowers and stems, so that you can build your own beautiful arrangement with this set. And then finally, we have a beautiful 3D embossing folder, and the stencils do fit with this, so the die would cut this as well, which is fabulous. I've done a sample here really quickly just to show you how beautifully that colors up with the stencil set that comes with it. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to have a look at the layering guide that comes inside your stamp set. You're going to see 2 full-size A2 card examples there. And if you flip that open, it's going to show you the products used to create those samples. In the center, you see inks used to create the image shown, and the inks are also shown in the stencil openings below. Over on the right-hand side, you're going to see more inks used to create those images, and they did use those stencils there as well to create this, and it indicates which stencil they used to create the image. So let's get started with stenciling our image, beginning with stencil number 1. We're going to put this into place with some satin masking tape as well as onto our sticky mat. We'll begin with fresh lemon up at the top, and then olive for the little leaf. The leaf over onto the left, we're going to use hunter green. And I am going to bring in a scrap piece of paper just to get that little leaf. It's pretty close to that bloom there. It saves me a little time because I always have scraps on my desk. Down at the bottom, we're using Cosmic Berry for that flower. In the center, we're going to begin with blush, and we're going to fill in all the petals that are open for this big, beautiful floral and add blush to all of the petals. Next, we're going to come in with ruby red, and we're going to add some beautiful definition to those petals. And I am using the new micro blending brushes to help me out here because the stencil spaces are close together. Now we'll move to the bottom of stencil number 1, and we'll get this put into place. I'm also securing with satin masking tape. We'll begin at the top with orange cream. And at the bottom, for all the leaves, we're going to be using olive. So that will go from about 6 o'clock all the way up to about midnight. For all these leaves, we're going to be using olive ink. And again, you could use your piece of paper here if you're worried about going over. Over on the bottom hand side, we're going to be using Puffy Heart. And then for this flower at the top, we'll be using Cosmic Berry. Making sure I get a nice blend there. And the center flower, we're going to repeat the same process that we did on the last stencil, which is the top of stencil 1. We will put blush and then come in with some ruby red to add some depth and definition to those petals. And with this stencil complete, we're going to move on to stencil number 2. On stencil number 2, we will secure that into place, and we'll begin with orange cream. We will add fresh lemon to the little flower, and we will add hunter green to the leaves on the right. For the flower on the left, we will start with Puffy Heart, and then we'll add Cosmic Berry to the 2 other petals there. And that will finish off our stenciling for that project. Now we'll begin on stencil 2, and we're going to begin with A1 and Wisteria ink. Then we'll align the stencil so that B1 is nestled up against the A1 flower. For B1, we will use Pinkalicious on the bottom pink flower. And I'm using a micro blending brush here again because I like to be able to get into those small spaces, especially where there is no line between these 2 flowers. For the top flower, we're going to use fresh lemon, and I did wipe my stencil off in between blending the 2 colors. Now, on stencil 2, we will align A2 and use hydrangea ink. Next, we'll align B2 on stencil 2. And I'm taking a second just to make sure I get this aligned perfectly. For the fresh lemon, the top flower, we'll use orange cream. And for the pink flower, we're going to use rubellite. And once that blending's complete, we're going to move on to stencil number 3. We'll get this aligned again. It's always good to take an extra second just to make sure it's aligned, and add some satin masking tape. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to begin with the green color, which is Firefly. So we're going to do all the leaves with that, and we're going to do one of the flower centers as well, the one that's closest to me over there at 3 o'clock on the clock. The yellow and orange flower will have a green center. The other 2 centers will be fresh lemon. And now on stencil 3, we're going to put the final touches on to our arrangement here, getting this all aligned perfectly. And then we're going to come in with Firefly for the 2 flower centers with yellow, and the rest will be grass field. And that will finish our first arrangement. Now we're going to move to stencil number 4, and we're going to do that floral cluster, which is C1, which will be pastel sunrise and rose quartz for those 2 colors. Next, we'll bring in stencil 4, and we're going to align D1. So we're aligning those petals at the top, which we're going to do with wisteria. And the other flower we're going to go ahead and do with Pinkalicious. And I'm using the micro blending brushes for this as well, because again, the areas are sometimes close on the stencils. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to line up C2 and D2. So first we'll start with C2, which we're going to use Pinkalicious on the flower on the right. And then on the pastel sunrise flower, we're going to use orange cream for that layer. So that would be the C2 layer. Next, we'll align the D2 layer. For the D2 layer, we're going to go ahead and we are going to add hydrangea and rubellite. And those will be our 2 colors for layer D2. Next, we're going to go ahead and move on to stencil number 5. On stencil number 5, we're going to start adding our greenery and the flower centers. So for the flower center, we're going to add honey drizzle. And for the leaves, we're going to add sweet leaf. You will notice I'm using my nail to hold down some of the delicate areas of the leaves to give them depth and definition. Next, we're going to move and put the flower center in with the razzleberry. And then we're going to add the layer to the leaves and some flower centers. I did add honey drizzle on the bottom, but it should have been bamboo. It's honey drizzle on the top for the flower centers. And the rest of the leaves are going to be bamboo as well. And finally on stencil 5, we'll align the last opening and put bamboo at the bottom and grass field on the top leaves. I hope this video was helpful in layering together your Craft Your Life project kit mixed blooms. Here is some inspiration from our fabulous designers. To find out more about Craft Your Life project kit mixed blooms and other available products, please visit us at altenew.com.
Hello crafters, Jen here. For more tips, techniques, tutorials, and to discover which paper crafting products are right for you, subscribe to Altenew's YouTube channel. Make sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Thanks for watching.